What's up, guys? Sorry I haven't been able to post a video in a little bit of time. I usually try to get one out either every couple days or at least every 7 days, and this is a little bit longer. Been dealing with projects inside the house and at the same time trying to stay off the lawn as much as possible to let the new seeds that we put out last video germinate. So it's come to the time that we need to do a cut, uh, get the grass back to a manageable height, and let the sunlight continue to get to those new seeds. So the PGR is already starting to wear off on the existing grass that I've had, and that existing grass is starting to get to a height where it's blocking the sun to get to those new seedlings and the new foliage that's coming up from the grass. So we need to mow again. I'm just going to bring it down to 3/4 of an inch. That's where I like to maintain this lawn. Um, and we'll kind of take a look. Actually, let me show you some of the seedlings that I've got for the germination. So you can see a pretty good patch right there. Let me get close. So you can see it's covered pretty good. That's all the new Bermuda. It's got a good color too. And as I walk up, you can see more little patches of seedlings. This area is getting watered pretty well, and then it goes up to, well, the fault line. That's what it looks like. And then let me walk back over to this area. This area kind of close to the house, I don't see really any germination, and I'm afraid that the rain that we had shortly after putting this down, the rainwater kind of washed up against the house and then caused all the seed to come back down into this area and then even wash down into my flower bed that I've got down here. So you can see some of the washout, like this area is in my flower bed. So that's not going to work. So that's definitely what happened. But since out here's got some germination and here, over time that will go this direction. So not too worried, but just know that if you're doing that and you've got an area that will experience washout, that will happen. One thing else that I want to point out is here in Tennessee, we're having so much rain coming in that the temperatures are starting to drop overnight, and we've got more weeds that are popping up. I've pulled weeds for the last couple days. More and more are popping up, even though I've put out a pre-emergent. I've even killed some of those weeds, but these are some of the weeds that have been dormant. And they're just now starting to come back up. So with us going back into the cooler temperatures for this rain coming in, it's watering it and it's making those weeds pop up. So I'm not spraying any kind of weed kill at this point because I've got new seed that's still germinating and still trying to establish its roots. So it's not that bad, which I would just go get a bucket or a bag and just kind of walk up and down my yard, and when I see a weed, I'll pull it. So it's not a time that you want to be active of trying to kill weeds, but if you've got a lawn full of weeds, then don't worry about it, especially if you're putting out new seeds. Let the new seeds germinate, get roots, and then after probably 3-4 months, then you can start tackling those weeds. But don't worry about it. No lawn is ever perfect. But if you've got a pretty good established lawns and you only see weeds here and there, just go pull them. Don't worry about spot treating or anything like that. It's just easier and safer and healthier for your lawn to not put those chemicals in when everything's trying to grow and thrive. So just pull the weeds. So that's what I'm going to do once we've got a time where it's not raining so much. I've got probably an hour before the next rain storm comes in. So let's mow. Let's get this down.
It's been raining for days now, been running like a child. Can't feel the cold, well I'm lost here with you, lost in the woods, lost as I should. I barely see the sky now, we're safe under the trees. You tell me about your secrets and I'm falling madly. You catch me right, I'll be alright. It's all that matters really, as long as you be as crazy.
This looks amazing. This is 10 days after we did the top dressing of the soil and sand, which was pretty much compost and sand. But those stripes are getting to be white hot. They're looking great. They're looking better and better as we go more into the summer. Now I'll put down Yard Mastery's Stress Blend, which I think is really, really helping the KBG help the Bermuda come in. And between those two grasses, this is looking mighty fine. Now, I've pointed this out to a couple other people, and they didn't really see it, but if you're used to looking at grass and looking at lawns, you might see it immediately. I'm going to pan over to this way. Yeah, do you see that? I'm not talking about my neighbor's yard. I'm just talking about my yard. See those lime green hot spots? I'm looking at that right there, this area, and then that right there, that area. This whole area used to come all the way out into here, all of this. But now it's starting to blend in really nicely. Now I only have these little smaller areas that are just kind of lime green, traffic light green look. But the rest of the yard is really looking good. Now I've got a dark spot here. So I've got a dark spot and then lime green spots. So dark spot, no Bermuda, mostly KBG. Well, there's a little Bermuda, but all your dark areas are just going to be your KBG. A lot of Bermuda, not much KBG. So in this area, we need to make sure that we're verticutting and kind of thinning out these areas, especially in here, cutting the rhizomes of the Bermuda. And then in the fall, we're going to really cut this area up and then overseed with the KBG, unless this does it naturally. I think this will cover up naturally with the Bermuda coming into this area, so I'm not too worried about it. I don't know about the thickness of this Bermuda. Do I need to thin that out in the fall? So come fall, let's find out if I've got to do something to make this blend in, but the rest of the yard is looking great. Again, this is a top dress that we did 10 days ago with compost and fine sand. 7 days after, we did Yard Mastery's starter fertilizer, and I waited 7 days because this is an overseed. I'm not putting starter fertilizer to already existing grass. I'm putting starter fertilizer to the seedlings that I'm putting out. And seed is not going to absorb nutrients until it gets roots. So I waited till I saw germination. Once I saw germination, I knew it's time to put the starter fertilizer out. If this was bare ground, I would probably put out starter fertilizer and then follow up with more starter fertilizer after the germination time. Because you want nutrients to be ready in the ground, and then you want it to be still available for the new seedlings. So you'd have to hit it harder if you're doing a renovation, but if you're doing an overseeding, keep up with your own fertilizer program, weekly, monthly, however you do it. If you're doing spoon feeding or if you're doing granular. But then once you're doing an overseeding product or a project, you want to make sure that the fertilizer is there once the seedlings have roots. So that's what I did. And of course, made sure that my watering was down pat and dialed in. On this angle, you can see more of that dark area where that lime green is starting to fill in. A little bit more of a dark area down here. More blended as you go more to the right. The left is still needing to fill in, and I think this area has more of a slope and this area has more of a gradual decline. So I'm thinking that this has got more washout. So seeds that I've been putting down and maybe along this edges of the two properties have probably got rock. And so it's a little bit harder for that grass to get established over there. But it will take time. I still have to come back with more sand and soil to fill in the fault line. Tell you what, when I was mowing this, it was kind of really hard to follow my lines because I wanted to follow the fault line and not my line. So you can see kind of up there, I kind of started to get a little squiggly, and then I started getting more straight and straight as it went away from that fault line. It was messing with me visually because just looking down, see a line and want to follow it. So there you go. This is June 21st, first day of summer, and we're white hot. We are looking great. I will probably do another video this weekend. I've still got more inside projects that I've got to complete, but I'll try to get out and do another video, and then we will probably have to do another cut, and we'll do spoon feeding. We'll pick up our spoon feeding program, but now that we're about 10 days after seedlings have germinated, we're going to start dialing back the watering and letting the roots dig deeper for that moisture, kind of train it to get deeper roots. If I keep up with the watering every day, then I'm always going to have shallow roots. All right, so there you have it, guys. Thank you again for watching. This has been another video of One Hale of a Lawn. Peace.